Welcome to Audio Oasis Storytelling Podcast, a place where you can stop by, listen, think, laugh, and most importantly, rest. I live in New York City where everything moves with supersonic speed. People walk fast, talk fast, think fast. And for the sake of this story, they also eat fast too. In order to navigate New York City energy, the rules are simple. Bring your A game or die. Now there is a gift to certain New York City neighborhoods called the bodega. Anybody familiar? The bodega is literally the lifeblood of the New Yorker. Milk at 2 a.m., baby formula, cigarettes, condoms, feminine hygiene, lip gloss, snacks, a pair of socks, a swim cap, multivitamin, lottery ticket. You can find it all at the neighborhood bodega. Did you know that there are two types of bodegas? Yeah, there's the morning bodega and the non-morning bodega. Today's story will focus on the morning bodega. The morning bodega has simple rules that all patrons know. True morning bodega veterans know the unspoken rule of placing exact change, that's important, on the counter, holding the item up for the cashier guy to see, making eye contact with the cashier guy, and then leaving with said item. Think of it sort of as the bodega express lane, if you will. But, there's a certain rhythm to it. If you do it right, it's a lifesaver. However, important note for the bodega express lane, wait for the confirmation nod before leaving with your express item. Because prison life isn't for everyone. There are three morning bodega lines: the coffee line, the breakfast sandwich line, and the "why are you buying this so early in the morning to stand in line?" line. The morning bodega is often quite crowded with busy morning commuters, loud and excited school kids, transit and sanitation workers starting their shift, people coming home from third shift. It is literally a cross-section within the cross-section. Now remember when I said there were three lines at the morning bodega? Each morning bodega line has a global representative, and in my bodega, the coffee line is run by the elder statesman, a Latino gentleman who keeps the coffee machines full and working, and he also keeps the place spotless. The breakfast sandwich grill is run by a gentleman from Africa. The register is manned by a gentleman from a country in the Middle East. So, it's Latin America on coffee, Africa on the grill, and Middle East holding down the money at the front. I've been going to this bodega for over 10 years, and it has played a major role in my morning commute life. Let's talk about that breakfast sandwich line. There's a blessing on this earth called the bacon, egg, and cheese on a toasted roll, and it is divine. You have to order it just like that, or Africa Grill will give you the scowl of life. You place your breakfast order with Africa Grill, bacon, egg, and cheese on a toasted roll, and then, when it's done, Africa Grill will pass your sandwich to Middle Eastern money behind the counter, that's important, for you to pay at the front. As you approach the register, you will call out your coffee order to Latin America Coffee, who will pass it to Middle Eastern Money, and you will pay for everything all at once up front at the register. That's the rundown. Got it? Okay, let's go. Well, one day on my way to work, I noticed fire trucks, broken glass, and boarded windows outside my beloved bodega. I know. There was a fire in the apartment above, and the bodega was closed for 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks without the bodega were a sad time. No snacks, no morning coffee, no bacon and cheese on a toasted roll. All gone, leaving quiet sadness in its wake. I know, one might ask, why didn't you simply go to another bodega instead during that time? Sacrilege. Loyalty is everything in New York City, And bodega loyalty is some next level stuff. There's that old country saying, you dance with the one that brung you. So yeah, you stick with your bodega through thick and through thin. Then one day, yay, the bodega was back. I went in super early, about 6:30 a.m., to thank Africa Grill, Latin America Coffee, and Middle Eastern Money, and to welcome them back and tell them how much I missed all of them and appreciated them as well. They waved and beamed with delight as I bought my cup of coffee, my bacon, egg, and cheese on a toasted roll, and then went on to work. About 2 weeks later, I was back at the bodega at the height of the morning bodega rush. Phew, the place was packed. I mean, really packed because the word was out that the bodega was back. I maneuvered my way over to Africa Grill and placed my bacon, egg, and cheese on a toasted roll order. Then a miracle happened. As my sandwich was being wrapped up, Africa Grill reached over the counter and handed the sandwich directly to me with a smile, instead of giving it as usual to Middle Eastern Money at the register. Let me tell you something, folks. In NYC bodega culture, that's simply not done. The other people waiting to place orders with Africa Grill were just as surprised and curious too. Me, I was genuinely stunned. Africa Grill patiently waited for my expression to register what was happening. And then it clicked. I proudly walked over to Middle Eastern Money at the register with my sandwich, who looked at me with surprise, and then he looked over to Africa Grill, who nodded in confirmation. I had at last received the elusive Bodega Golden Ticket, along with the trust and respect of my neighborhood bodega crew. It is an honor that I still have to this day, and I consider it to be one of my greatest accomplishments. My heart will always belong to Harlem. My heart will always belong to New York City. But there will always be a really special place in my heart for my neighborhood bodega. New Yorkers, we don't love easy, but when we do, we love all the way. I love this town. Thank you for listening to Audio Oasis Storytelling. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play Music, and Spotify. Safe travels and be well.